ask Mr. Upton if he'll lead us in a moment of silence and the pledge.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this time we're going to need to amend the agenda on 10-21-8 is not here, and we're going to change that to the director evaluation. And that's 10-21-8.
We have to have a motion on that before we can do that.
Yes.
I make a motion, we make that change.
Okay,
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? All right. 10-21-2, declaration of conflict for TCA 49-2-202. Monroe, the Board of Education members who have relatives for statute means spouse, parent, parent-in-law, child, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, grandparent, grandchild, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, or any person who resides in the same household as you, employed by the system, are asked to raise their hands to identify yourself. Do you certify that the votes that you make tonight will be in the best interest of the school system, regardless of the effect that your vote may have upon the employment of your relative or relatives? I do. 10-21-3, I don't think we have any tonight. 10-21-4, the approval of the consent and regular agenda.
So moved.
So have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. 10-21-5, approval of minutes from September 9th, 2021 regular board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All approved say aye.
Aye.
Any disapprove, like sign? Okay. 10-21-6, approval of October 2021 budget amendments.
So moved.
I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. New business 10-21-7, Mr. Tim Royster, HG&A Associates, Internal School Funds Audit, year ending June 20th, 2020.
Good evening. I suppose everybody has already had an opportunity maybe to have access to the report that we prepared for this year's audit. If not, I can summarize it fairly quickly. Just a couple points. When we do this audit, we're checking for mainly three things. We're checking for compliance with state law, compliance with the manual that the Comptroller's Office puts out for internal school funds, and then also the USDA procedures for food cafeteria distribution, not the actual meals itself. You don't want to be judging meals. Everything is pretty good. So, but the procedures from a financial standpoint. And so that's the three main goals that we have when we're checking our audits. If you remember, 2019 when I was up here, there were 7 findings in regard to our audit. Last year, 2020, there was 1. And I think I mentioned at that time, it's regarding things like purchase order completion, disbursement, signing of checks, the disbursement process. When you've got 12 schools, you're talking about thousands of checks. It's almost impossible for us not to find something in it, no matter how small it is. I mean, a few times it happens, but we have to be a finding on it. And that was the only finding last year. That was a repeat finding again this year. Nothing out of the line as far as some schools being just not doing their job. It's just occasionally you may have someone who, if they have an invoice for $13,000 and it's not properly dated on the purchase order, we have to have that finding in our requirements. That's the crux of the biggest issue. The only other finding this year was just a technical pet peeve the state has. One of the high schools had a senior class. When the senior class finishes, if you've got $5 in that account and you don't move it to general fund, they get all upset about it. And one of the schools forgot to do that at June 30th. They did it after, but we still have to have findings because of the state expenses. So that's really all it was. Everything has greatly improved in the last 2 or 3 years with the bookkeepers and the principals. It's really paying a lot of emphasis on the following the manual and the procedures that are required for overseeing the administration of the school funds that come to the school itself. So that, if anybody has any questions about anything I've said or didn't say, I'm glad to try to answer.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. 10-21-8, Director Evaluation.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adopt the TSBA Director of Schools Performance Evaluation and complete, with the exception of eliminating Section 2 of the quantitative annual goals, Objective 1, and keep Objective 2, with the percentages of qualitative 20% for staff survey, 50% for board observation, and 30% for the achievement of board goals and strategic plans.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. 10-21-9, approval of the audit contract with HG&A Associates for the 2021-2022 internal school funds. Yeah, we had it on. Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the audit?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. 10-21-10, approval of annual agreement with Douglas Cherokee Head Start, providing services to preschoolers with disabilities.
Which I'm going to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, like sign. 10-21-11, approval of school medicine agreement with Sweetwater Hospital and Monroe County Schools, Sweetwater High School, and Tellico High School. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any disapprove, like sign. Motion passes. 10-21-12, approval of MOU with Dr. Jeff Salbernagel and the Monroe County Board of Education to provide vision care through the school-based clinic program. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. 10-21-13, approval of the new lease agreement with Caterpillar Financial for upgraded equipment. This cost is already included in the maintenance budget for the prior lease agreement.
Mr. Chairman, the budget get approved.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Did this go up, Philip? Is it price?
About $60.
Any other discussion? We've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. 10-21-14, approval of school resource officer agreement for the city of Madisonville, the town of Monroe, and the Monroe County Sheriff's Department.
Make the motion to approve.
Got a motion, do I have a second? Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. 10-21-15, Miss Debbie Tipton requests to name the Agricultural Center at Sequoia High School in recognition of Mr. John Wiggins, ag teacher at Sequoia High School.
Chairman, move to be approved.
We got to approve. Got a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Tipton, do you want to say anything?
I would like to say, I think he's very deserving of this. He has done a lot with the kids. He works very hard. He does have a lot of years, but what he has been able to accomplish is a great deal of things for the students at Sequoia High School. I think he's very deserving.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. Motion passes. 10-21-16, select board committee members for the 2021-2022 school year. I'm going to kind of go out of order. So we're going to start with the vice chair. Do I have a nomination for vice chair?
Make a motion to put Joe Cagle.
Second. All right. I've got a motion and a second for Joe. All right. All in favor? Any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. All right. Transportation Committee. Who all would like to be on that committee? Anyone else? I'm going to appoint Mr. Williams and Mr. Kelly to that one as well. And I'll be on it as well. Mr. Williams, Mr. Freddie Kelly, you and myself. Okay, the policy committee. Ms. Cagle asked that she would be left on it as well. Anyone else would like to be on it? I'm going to appoint Mr. Shootman, if he would. And Mr. Weiss, if he would be on that one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. On the ethics committee, I think that is myself, Mr. McCarty, and Ms. Freeman and Mr. Ridge all have asked to be on that one. Parliamentarian, Mr. Shipman, if you would, I'd like for you to stay on that one. And TSBA delegates, we need 3. Have anybody nominate yourself for that?
I thought the sheriff wanted to do that, you don't want to do that.
Done it for the last forever. Let's let somebody else have a chance to do it.
That'd be a great experience for some of these newer members. Learn how TSBA works.
What's the delegates do anyway? Chief, you know?
Well, they have their additional meetings that they attend and have some voting power on some of the things that TSBA brings to the table as far as different procedures and policies and things that they represent school systems for across the state in legislative issues and that type of thing. Sharon, is there anything you'd like to add to that? You answered that well.
I'll do it.
Oh, well, it's what-
We're gonna put Joe on there as well. All right.
Who all were the?
It's gonna be you, Mr. Shootman, and Ms. Cagle.
She's gonna do she came tonight. Congratulations, Joe.
All right, I think that's got all those. 10-21-17 Director of School Report.
Okay, I added something at the top after that wonderful audit report. Nice job to those on the back wall and the one to the left over there when he talked about the schools and the improvements over the last couple of years for you and the bookkeepers. I'm appreciative, we all are, of the job that you do to try to keep all of those financial things straight. It's a lot. I know, not because I did it when I was in your shoes, because I had somebody good that did, so I know what that's like. So thank you, and please go back to your buildings and thank your people, because that's a lot of work. COVID-19, we've had 2 cases reported this week, which makes our current total number of active cases 3 students and 1 staff. I cannot believe that we're sitting here actually saying those low numbers, and I'm so grateful and prayerful that continues. So let's just all be in hopes that we can remain there and continue to drop till we're not even talking about it anymore. So happy to report that. We have recently been accepted into the Early Literacy Network, which includes an $80,000 grant over a 2-year period, and this will help supplement our pre-K through 2nd grade teachers with foundational reading skills. So in addition to what Shauna has already talked to you about, and we've been talking to you about, that's more money and more support to help with their pre-K through 2nd grade students with their reading. So we are thrilled with that. Literacy obviously is a big initiative for us and for the state. So this is just more assistance in that area. So we're happy to report that. We also just completed today the 2nd day and final day of federal monitoring. 2 days of that included all of our federally funded programs, so that's your CTE, special education, and all the title programs. This monitoring required hundreds of documents to be uploaded in advance and 2 days of interviews with our program directors, Gail with the finance department, and 4 of our schools. We will not have the official results of the monitoring for a couple of weeks, but it went very well, and our district was well represented by all of the people involved. So any of you that were involved, everyone in this room and this building that was involved, I'm extremely grateful. I sat in on some of the sessions, some of the interviews, and they just could not sing Monroe County's praises enough. And that was from the building level to the central office level and the entire district as a team. So I was so proud to sit and hear everything that they had to say. It was wonderful. The accolades were plentiful and they were well deserved. So I appreciate all of you. And please let everybody know that. Installation of box lights and the new active panels, that started in the schools, and the teacher training has been scheduled across the district. So we are very excited to see this new technology in our classrooms. So we continue to move ahead. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for their staff, but here at Central Office and at the school level. I would take these people against any county in the state. All right, 10-21-18, TSBA annual convention is November 18th through the 21st. Please let Sandra know if you're going to go, if you can't go. And our next meeting is November the 11th, which is also Veterans Day. So with that,
Mr.
Anybody
Chairman, you've set a high standard for a length of school board meeting. I hope you know that.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Appreciate it. We have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed.
Thank you, you too.
That's it.